Hello, everyone, and welcome to our BIIC Executive Interview Series. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing Carmela Malone, and she is the SVP of Enabling Solutions at the Hartford. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are excited to speak with you.
Hi, how are you? I'm happy to be here.
Yes. And just speaking with her before the interview, just a side note, just speaking with her before the interview throughout the week, she is an energy I think that everyone needs to be around. So I hope you enjoyed this interview just as much as I will. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So can you tell us, just a bit about yourself and your role at the Hartford?
Sure. So I've been in the industry 20 plus years, and I truly enjoy working in this industry and what I do every day. And so my background is really pretty broad within the insurance industry. I am an attorney by trade, and I, like many people, did not really grow up exposed to the insurance industry. I didn't have family who worked in the industry or know anybody who worked here, but I was an assistant district attorney in New York State. And as I was looking to transition over into the private sector, I really enjoyed trial work and litigation. And I came to work for the Hartford in our New York City staff legal office. And part of my role there was really to represent our policyholders and our customers when they were being sued. So I really loved what I did, and I thought I'd always be a practicing lawyer. But as I worked more in the industry and I worked more at the Hartford, my career interests really expanded beyond practicing law. And I was fortunate because I had exposure to other roles in the company. And so as time went on, I was able to grow both personally and professionally here at our company. And so when I think back over my 20-year career, I've had many different jobs. I have been a claim handler for adjusting large losses across in many states. I have led an operations team and a technology team. Wow. And probably one of my favorite roles is I was the Chief Compliance Officer for Property and Casualty. So I got to do something completely different than claims and litigation. And I worked with our underwriters and our product development team really as their compliance officer. So when I think about all of those experiences, they really did prepare me and position me well for my current role as Senior Vice President of Enabling Solutions. And in that role, I have about 1,300 people who are on my team, and we're located across the country, and we provide specialized services for our claims and our operations. So just to put that into perspective, we handle our reinsurance claims, we run our anti-fraud and corruption programs for claims. We have learning and quality where we train our division professionals and claim professionals across the board. And the organization that I grew up in, Staff Legal, also sits within Enabling Solutions. And we have about 350 lawyers that are part of that group that represent the Hartford's customers in litigation when they've been sued pursuant to their policies. So a broad role and that I have, and I just have an opportunity to work on a lot of different things to contribute to the Hartford's profitability and the company that they are. So very cool in terms of what I do. And one other thing is I think about my experience in the industry. I have really had a chance to do a lot of different things, but I've also had mentors and I've had sponsors. I have participated in leadership programs. And I think all of those things have made all the difference for me personally in terms of my growth. And so I'm really passionate and fortunate to work for a company like the Hartford, where I can contribute and pay it forward to the next generation of talent. And I know we're going to talk about BIC, but that's one of the things that I'm just really excited to see it in our industry and the Hartford support.
That's really good. And the fact that, your story of how you started out, as an attorney, that definitely shows like the transferable skill set that, a lot of people may or may not look at when it comes to working within the industry. But your story is amazing. So thank you so much for that. And you mentioned mentoring and sponsorship, which leads us to our next question, with BIIC or BIC. What made the Hartford decide to become a founding sponsor of BIIC?
So I am proud to say that we were involved since the inception. So Susan Johnson, who is our Chief Diversity and Equity Officer, along with 3 executives from other insurance companies, came together about 2 years ago and really had a vision as they were looking at the landscape of our industry, and really wanted to be part of an innovative solution that helped us to promote careers within our industry, and to grow our talent pipelines, particularly as we thought about diverse talent, women and people of color, and to create a supportive network that would allow diverse executives and leaders to really continue to build their network and relationships and grow over time. So because of that, I'd say involvement at the very beginning and who we are as a company and our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think getting involved in BIIC was really just a natural extension of who we are as a company. We are deeply committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think we are well known as in a brand from having an ethical culture, a diverse workplace practices, and being that DE&I leader. So if you think about all of the things that BIIC stands for, our initial involvement, it really, to me, is just the natural extension of who we are as a company. And it's our opportunity to collaborate across the industry with a common goal. And I think that's what BIIC really stands for.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much. With your different initiatives that you have internally and things of that nature, and just being one of the founding sponsors with, one of the founders being from the Hartford, how do you see the mission and the work of BIIC influencing the industry as a whole?
So I think it's a tremendous opportunity to influence the industry. And I really think it starts with the origin of how BIIC came to be. So I mentioned the work that Susan and Ivy and others did at the very beginning, but I also think what was unique was that they really collaborated with industry professionals from an academic standpoint, from an insurance industry perspective, and from a talent. And they went out and also solicited the input, and BIIC went out and solicited the input of many senior executives who were people of color, Black senior executives, as they shared their experience. So if you think about that origin right at the beginning, I think it makes it unique. What I think is an opportunity is because it's collaborative. So it's not just one company. It is literally many founding companies coming together to say, we have a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we have a common interest to build our talent pipeline and to access talent from all walks of life. And then when you take that and you partner that with the institutes and its incredible reputation, and the University of Virginia and its incredible reputation, I think that the influence that BIIC will have in our industry is just beginning, and I really think the potential is unlimited. So I know that I am incredibly excited about what it means for the industry. Quite frankly, I also think it's a model that can be replicated for, in many different ways. And so I think the partnerships are probably also just beginning.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Just in our inbox alone, we've been getting a lot of requests of how they can replicate, BIIC and what it stands for. So thank you so much for saying that. So let's get back to, the Hartford. So does the Hartford currently have any internal initiatives that focus solely on Black executives or up and coming Black executives or just Black talent in general?
Absolutely. Let me first start by saying that within the Hartford, we have robust talent routines that are focused on all of our employees and really designed to help individuals to figure out what it is they want to do, where their passion is, explore many different career paths, and ultimately live into their full potential. As it relates to our Black employees and people of color, there are three programs that really come to mind. The first is Empower, and I feel really passionately about Empower. It has a special place in my heart because I was an advisor for that program, and it is really a leadership development program that is designed to accelerate job readiness and encourage sponsorship for our high performing and high potential people of color and Black employees. And as you know, sponsorship is critically important to the success of leaders, not only within our company, but across our industry. So this program really does focus on the unique experiences that people of color have both inside and outside of the workplace. And it helps them to really share those experiences both with their cohort, but then we introduce them to leaders and to build their business acumen, to provide insights from a leadership perspective. And our hope is that as they graduate from this program, they will take the learnings and the relationships that they have built within the Empower program to really strengthen their leadership capabilities. And I've talked to many of the participants that were at part of my cohort, and I can tell you that they have shared with me that this program is incredibly impactful to them as leaders, and that they are already using the skills from a business acumen standpoint and insight perspective on how to be more influential and build relationships. And it's making them better leaders in terms of what they do today. So a lot of passion around Empower. I could talk about it forever. So the other program that I really want to highlight is our apprenticeship program. So we have an apprenticeship program at the Hartford, and it is exactly what you think about when you think about an apprenticeship program. It is an opportunity for early career professionals, those graduating from high school who are interested in going to college, to earn while they learn. So they are generally enrolled in community colleges. This year, we're expanding that to some four-year colleges, and they are getting college credit while they are employed at the Hartford. Wow. And they are earning while they learn, and they are getting credits also for the work they do here. It is generally a program that it's about a 2-year program. And at the end of that program, many of our participants have both an associate's degree and they are full-time employees with the Hartford and free to go on towards a 4-year program. And while the reason I spike that program out and call it out is because often many first-time and full-time students enrolled in community colleges are people of color. And so through the apprentice program, we are able to access, again, this is really about accessing talent. We're able to access talent in non-traditional ways in a situation that then becomes a win-win, a win for us as employers and a win for the apprentice participants as they get a college degree and they can earn a living. So just very excited. It's program that we started some time ago, and we are on track to bring approximately 200 apprentices in through this program, and will continue to grow. It is a program that is recognized, and we participate and we're recognized nationally for this program. So tremendously exciting. The last one I'll highlight is our employee resource group. So many companies have employee resource groups, but within our Black Insurance Professional Network and our Hispanic Leadership Network resource group, they have specific development and leadership development programs that they are running, particular and exclusive to their membership. And they have the full support of the Hartford, our leaders, and it's really a tremendous program. Again, program that I've had a chance to participate on panels and when I talk to our employees who are participating in these programs, they again just talk about the impact that it has on them in a personal way and in their professional growth. And we hear the same thing from their managers. So lots of exciting work going on. And I think it's very consistent with the mission of what we talk about when we talk about BIIC.
Definitely. I mean, just the 3 programs you named sound amazing. And I can just already foresee how they could completely change the industry. Thank you so much for that. And then our last question, what other DEI related initiatives, whether focused on leadership or not, is the Hartford currently implementing internally or externally?
So as I mentioned earlier, we really are focused on internally driving an inclusive culture because you can have diversity in all walks and in all fashion, right? But if you don't have an inclusive culture, if that's not accompanied by inclusive workplace practices, then none of the rest really matters. And we feel passionately about that. And so part of our focus is not just on the diversity component, but it is on building those inclusive workplace practices. And it is on ensuring that all of our employees have equitable opportunities. And so programs like Empower Apprenticeship programs or our ERGs, and we have several ERGs, are all parts of our internal program. But I think we also take a holistic view on how to embed our DE&I strategy. So when I think about it starts at the top, we look at our board diversity. We look at the work of our CEO, Chris Swift. And the Hartford was an early signatory to the CEO Action for Diversity and Inclusion. We've also been a member of Catalyst for many years. The CEO Champions for Change. These are all examples of how our leadership in the DE&I space really starts at the top from our board and our CEO. Yes. And then we have our programs and our commitment from a culture perspective internally. But what I admire about our company is that it's not enough for us to have this passion internally within the walls of the Hartford. We are committed to being leaders in this space externally and supporting organizations that share our mission and our goals around DE&I. And so some of those organizations, like the National African American Insurance Association, we are a proud sponsor of NIA, both at a national level and at a local level. And I think about even here in Hartford, so I'm based out of Hartford, Connecticut. It is with the Hartford support and other companies within our local area that I and some of my colleagues, with the support of Hartford, were able to start a local chapter here in Connecticut. And with the express goal of really promoting our industry and opening access to our industry to talent pools that we might not otherwise see, to provide professional development, networking opportunities, and community outreach. And all of those things are a core component of what NIA is, and then reinforced at a local level. And that's why the Hartford is a proud sponsor of NIA. But I could think about NIA, we could talk about our relationship again with Prospanica and other organizations, but those are the things that we're doing externally. And I know we talked about this. It is, again, why BIIC is so critical to what we do. So when I think about it at its highest levels, it is about having a holistic approach at a board level, at a leadership level, putting the practices in place within our company, and then being leaders and influencing externally, and then being transparent about it. We have been pretty transparent about, and that's why we publish our workforce representation data. It is our goal and objective to achieve 50% women and 25% people of color in senior leadership roles by 2030.
That is awesome. And just based off of everything you said in this interview today, I don't even see that being a problem. So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Carmela. Once again, she is the SVP of Enabling Solutions. Thank you for joining us today, taking the time to answer our questions. Thank you to the Hartford as a whole for being a founding sponsor of BIIC. And thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to our next BIIC executive interview. Thank you so much.